Okay, Hostinger versus Cloudways. We've been getting a ton of questions about these two. Lots of folks trying to figure out which one's the right fit. And honestly, it's a fascinating comparison because even though they both, give your website a place to live online, they're really different. Almost like comparing, hmm, I don't know, a giant department store, with everything you could ever need to a super specialized boutique just for like custom-made suits.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. You're spot on about how different their approaches are. Right out of the gate, Hostinger, they're like that department store. They've got shared hosting, VPS, WordPress hosting. Heck, they even have Minecraft hosting. Cloudways, though, totally different story. They only do managed cloud hosting, super focused.
It's like they've got a very specific customer in mind, not
Mm,
just anyone gets through the door. And that difference in who they're targeting, it really shows up when you look at their pricing.
absolutely, yeah. Hostinger is famous for being budget friendly. I mean, we're talking shared plans starting at like what? $99 a month. It's wild. They're making it possible for almost anyone to get a website up and running. Cloudways, though, being managed cloud, it starts a bit higher, usually around $10 a month.
Okay, so not exactly impulse by territory.
Right, but you are paying for managed service, though. They handle all that techie server stuff behind the scenes.
It's like, having a pit crew for your website.
Exactly, keeping everything running smoothly at top speed.
So it's less about just raw cost, more about the level of service you get. But both Hostinger and Cloudways, they both claim to be super fast and reliable. Hostinger talks about their light speed web server, all about speed. And Cloudways, they brag about their partnerships with these top-tier cloud providers like AWS and Google Cloud, the big names. So when you put them head-to-head, how do they actually stack up? Performance-wise, is one noticeably quicker?
Ooh, this is where it gets interesting. So Hostinger, they actually score pretty darn well in those performance tests, especially when you consider how budget-friendly their shared plans are. They use SSD storage, which is super fast, gotta give them that. And that Lightspeed web server, yeah, it does boost speed, but there's a catch. With shared hosting, your site's sharing resources, right? It's on the same server as other websites, kind of like, living in a busy apartment building.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
If everyone's trying to use the elevator at once, things get slow.
Uh-huh. So your website's performance can fluctuate a bit, depending on what those other sites in your server are doing.
Exactly. Now, with Cloudways, you avoid that whole mess. You get dedicated resources, your space, your bandwidth, no sharing. Plus, you get to PCK your cloud provider. So you're tapping into some seriously powerful infrastructure, AWS, Google Cloud, you name it, meaning blazing fast loading times. And you can handle those traffic spikes without breaking a sweat.
So if you need that consistent high-level performance, especially if you're expecting lots of visitors, Cloudways is the way to go.
Hands down, yeah. It's like comparing, I don't know, a regular commuter train to a bullet train. Both will get you there. But the experience, the speed,
Yeah.
totally different.
Makes sense. Now, we can't talk about hosting without talking about security, right? Huge factor for anyone putting their website out there. Want to make sure it's safe, protected from hackers, all that. So how do Hostinger and Cloudways compare on that front? What measures do they have in place to, keep our data safe?
Right, that's the million-dollar question these days. Well, the good news is both Hostinger and Cloudways, they both offer those baseline security features we've come to expect.
The essentials like SSL certificates and DDoS protection.
Yep, you got it. So with Hostinger, you get those SSL certificates, encrypts the data, keeps information safe between your site and your visitors. And they also have DDoS protection, which is crucial. It's like a shield against those attacks that can flood your server with traffic and basically knock your site offline.
Not good.
Not good at all. But Cloudways, being all about that managed hosting, they take security a step further.
Yeah, I had a feeling they might.
They go all out. Robust firewalls, two-factor authentication, the whole shebang.
So it's not just about having security features. It's like security's baked into the very core of their platform.
Precisely. It's like, think of it this way. Having a basic alarm system in your house versus living in a gated community with security patrols. Both offer protection, but that latter, way more peace of mind.
Okay, so on the security front, Cloudways definitely seems to have the edge. Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about features. Hostinger, they seem to really pride themselves on being user-friendly, accessible. What kind of features do they offer to make life easier for their users?
Yeah, Hostinger is all about simplicity. Holding your hand through the whole process of creating a website. Like, they offer a free domain name when you sign up for certain plans, so you don't have to go through the hassle of registering one separately.
That's super convenient, especially for beginners.
Totally. And they also provide email hosting, so you can have those professional-looking email addresses, tied to your website domain. And for those who aren't, code savvy, they even offer a drag and drop website builder.
Ah, so you can basically create a website without touching a line of code.
Yep. They've thought of everything to make it smooth and easy, especially for newbies.
Love that. Now, Cloudways, on the other hand, they seem to cater to a more uh, tech-savvy crowd, let's say.
Yeah, they're definitely more feature rich. Lots of bells and whistles for developers and folks who want more control.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, they offer things like staging environments, so you can test changes to your website before making them live.
Ah, that's smart, so you don't risk breaking anything on your main site.
Exactly. And they have app cloning, so you can duplicate your entire website with just a few clicks.
Wow, that's handy.
Right. And for the developers out there, they have seamless Git integration.
Ah, gotta keep those developers happy.
Yep. And they even have this AI-powered assistant, Cloudways bot. It monitors your website's performance, gives you real-time insights.
It's like having a little robot sidekick for your website.
Pretty much.
So it sounds like Cloudways is a bit more, how do I put it? Choose your own adventure when it comes to website management.
For sure, it gives you a lot more control under the hood, but all those powerful features. They do come with a slightly steeper learning curve.
Yeah, Hostinger definitely wins for ease of use, I'd say. Their control panel is super clean, intuitive, definitely designed with beginners in mind.
Totally agree. Cloudways, with all its advanced features and server management options, it can feel a bit more technical.
Yeah, you might need to be comfortable with a bit more, you know, under the hood stuff to really get the most out of it.
Right. It's like, think of it this way. If you're a seasoned chef, you might love a professional grade kitchen. All the fancy gadgets, total control. But if you're just starting out, a simple user-friendly setup is probably more your speed.
Perfect analogy. All right, so before we move on to what actual users and experts have to say about these two, let's do a quick recap of what we've learned. So far, it seems like Hostinger is the budget-friendly, user-friendly option. Great for beginners, anyone who needs a straightforward hosting solution. Cloudways, though, that's the powerhouse. Top-tier performance, advanced security, all those developer-friendly tools.
Spot on. We've laid the groundwork, explored the basics, and now it's time to see how these two stack up in the real world. Are they living up to the hype?
You know, it's one thing to hear what the companies themselves say about their services, but I always find it's the experiences of real users that really paint the complete picture. So what are people saying about Hostinger and Cloudways out in the wild?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Real world feedback is crucial. And one thing that really jumps out about Hostinger is the sheer volume of positive comments about their pricing.
Oh yeah, definitely saw that too. It seems like everyone's raving about how affordable they are.
Exactly. It's like a chorus of happy users praising those budget-friendly plans. And it's not just talk either. They seem to genuinely deliver on that promise, making it possible for folks to get their ideas online without breaking the bank.
Especially when you consider how many people are just starting out with their online ventures. You know, maybe they're launching a personal blog or a small portfolio site in those early stages. Keeping costs low is crucial.
Absolutely. Every penny counts when you're just getting started.
Did you find any comments about Hostinger's performance specifically? Sometimes a low cost can mean sacrificing speed or reliability.
That's a valid concern for sure. But here's the thing. Even on those lower tier shared plans, Hostinger seems to punch above its weight in terms of performance.
Really? So even on those super affordable plans, people are having good experiences.
It seems so. Users consistently report positive experiences with fast loading times and minimal downtime, it seems like their use of SSD storage. And that Lightspeed web server we talked about earlier really do make a difference.
Yeah. That's impressive. It sounds like Hostinger is a real contender for anyone who needs solid performance on a budget.
Absolutely. They're proving that you don't have to sacrifice quality for affordability.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about Cloudways. What kind of feedback are you seeing from their users? The ones who have taken the plunge into managed cloud hosting, are they finding that the higher price tag translates to a better experience?
The feedback on Cloudways is interesting. It seems to fall into two distinct camps. On the one hand, you have users who absolutely rave about the power, flexibility, and performance. They love the ability to scale their resources on demand, the freedom to choose from different cloud providers, and the peace of mind that comes with knowing their hosting is in the hands of experts.
So it sounds like for those who need that extra level of control and performance, Cloudways is delivering.
Without a doubt, they're exceeding expectations for that segment of users. But on the other hand, you also have users who, while acknowledging the power of Cloudways, find it a bit too technical or overwhelming.
So maybe not the best fit for complete beginners.
Right, it's not as plug and play as some other platforms. You need a certain level of comfort with server management or a willingness to learn the ropes.
So Cloudways is definitely more for the tech-savvy crowd or those willing to invest time in learning the platform?
Exactly. It's like buying a high-performance sports car. You get incredible speed and handling, but you also need to know how to drive it properly to unlock its full potential.
I love that analogy. It perfectly captures the difference in approach. But even with that steeper learning curve, there's one area where Cloudways consistently gets glowing reviews, and that's customer support.
Oh, absolutely. Users rave about the responsiveness and expertise of their support team. They highlight their ability to quickly resolve issues and provide helpful guidance. It's like having a trusted mechanic on speed dial whenever your website has a hiccup. You can count on them to get things running smoothly again.
That's reassuring, especially for a platform that can be a bit more complex.
For sure, knowing you have a solid support system in place can make all the difference. Now, let's see what the experts have to say. What are the tech gurus and industry analysts saying about Hostinger and Cloudways? Are they echoing what we're hearing from users, or are they uncovering any hidden strengths or weaknesses?
Yeah, I'm always curious to hear what the experts think. They have a keen eye for spotting trends and uncovering the nuances that might not be obvious to the average user.
Right, they've seen it all. So their insights are valuable. And when it comes to Hostinger, the expert reviews seem to be in sync with the general user feedback. They praise its affordability, user-friendly interface, and the surprising level of performance you get, especially for the price, however. They also caution that Hostinger's shared hosting environment, while ideal for beginners and those on a budget, might not be the best fit for websites with high traffic demands or resource-intensive applications.
So Hostinger is a great starting point, but there might come a time when you need to upgrade to a more robust solution.
Exactly. It's like starting with a cozy one-bedroom apartment. It's perfect for a single person or a couple, but as your family grows, you might need to consider something more spacious.
Makes sense. What about the expert opinions on Cloudways? Are they as enthusiastic as some of those users who were blown away by its performance?
For the most part, yes. The experts acknowledge and appreciate the flexibility, scalability, and sheer power that Cloudways offers. They consistently highlight features like server cloning, staging environments, and the seamless integration with popular development tools as major advantages. It's like having a Swiss Army knife of hosting. It can handle almost any task you throw at it, however. They also point out that Cloudways can be expensive, especially for those just starting out or with limited budgets, and they emphasize that the learning curve can be steep, potentially overwhelming for those who are not comfortable with the technical aspects of server management.
So it seems like we're seeing a clear pattern here. Hostinger is the budget-friendly, user-friendly option, perfect for beginners and those who prioritize simplicity. Cloudways is the high-performance, feature-rich powerhouse ideal for experienced users, developers, and those who need top-tier performance and scalability.
Exactly. It all comes down to choosing the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb, and you wouldn't use a screwdriver to cut a piece of wood. The same logic applies to web hosting. You need to understand your needs, your budget, and your technical skills to make an informed decision.
Hostinger versus Cloudways, we've covered a lot of ground, features, pricing, what users are saying, what the experts think. But now, let's get practical. Let's imagine some real-world scenarios. See which one of these hosting providers comes out on top.
Love it. Yeah, let's put them to the test. Okay, picture this. Someone totally new to websites. They're, I don't know, super passionate about baking, wants to start a simple blog, share their recipes, connect with other bakers.
All right, classic beginner scenario. What do we recommend?
For them, Hostinger all the way. Remember those super affordable shared plans? Perfect starting point, low cost, no sacrifice on performance.
Plus, Hostinger's so user-friendly. Even if you've never touched a website before, you can figure it out.
Totally. And that one-click WordPress installation makes setting up a blog a breeze.
It's like they've created the perfect little online kitchen. All the tools you need, easy to follow instructions.
Exactly. No reason not to start sharing those recipes.
All right, so for our beginner baker, Hostinger's the clear winner. Now, let's say we've got a small business owner. They're ready to take things online, they make handmade jewelry, beautiful stuff, and they want to launch an online store, reach a wider audience.
Okay, so now we're talking about e-commerce. Needs are a bit different here.
Exactly. They need a platform that's reliable, secure, can handle online transactions, all that.
Yeah, for this scenario, I'm leaning towards Cloudways.
Really. Even though it's a bit pricier.
I think so, especially if they're serious about selling online. Remember how we talked about Cloudways and security, isolated servers, all those extra measures?
Right, because when you're dealing with customer data, payment info, security is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. You want to make sure everything's protected. Plus, Cloudways offers that scalability a growing business needs.
Ah, so as their store gets more popular, more traffic, they can easily handle it, no problem.
Yep. No website crashes during a big sale.
Makes sense. Okay, let's get a little more technical. Imagine a web developer building a complex web application, something data-driven, maybe a social network or an analytics tool.
Ooh, all right. Now we're talking. For this, it's Cloudways, no question.
Yeah, they're definitely geared towards that developer
Oh,
front.
they've got all the bells and whistles, staging environments, Git integration, SSH access, everything a developer could dream of.
It's like giving them the keys to a high-tech lab.
Right. Complete control, flexibility, all the power they need.
And don't forget, they can choose their cloud provider too.
Oh, yeah, customize that infrastructure to fit their exact project.
All right, last scenario. Let's go big. A large enterprise, huge website, millions of visitors every month, mission critical, cannot go down ever.
Okay, so we're talking e-commerce giants, news organizations, streaming services, the heavy hitters.
Exactly. They need rock-solid performance, unbreakable security.
24/7 support, the whole 9 yards.
For this, I think Cloudways is the only logical choice.
I agree 100%. They're built for this. They can handle that kind of scale.
Plus, those dedicated account managers, priority support.
For a big enterprise, that kind of personalized service is priceless.
All right, so we've seen how Hostinger and Cloudways stack up in all sorts of different situations.
And the takeaway is there's no one perfect answer. It depends on your needs, your budget, your technical skills.
Exactly. Think about what you're trying to achieve. Simple blog, small business, complex web app.
Once you know what you need, the choice is much easier.
And to help you out, we've got links to both Hostinger and Cloudways down below. Go check them out, compare their plans, see what feels right for you. Happy hosting, everyone.
Happy hosting.